Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And today I want to show you something that I'm imagining quite a few of you haven't even seen, despite the fact that it was released, more than 12 hours before this video. It was actually two short videos, kind of teaser videos of two upcoming characters, Angel and Emma Frost, as we know for the upcoming sort of X Factor, sort of X-Men update. So this is kind of like sneak peek 2.5 because it's not giving us any additional information except that it is, but it's not actually confirming any new characters except that it kind of is. And the fact that it wasn't posted at all on Mobirum, which is pretty bizarre. It was only posted on Facebook and Twitter. So if you're not familiar with those, if you don't frequent those websites, you have never seen these. And essentially what it tells us is that we're probably not getting too much more from this update, which is fine character wise. We don't need 5 or 6 characters in a row. I know I mentioned the special quest or the special mission update that a lot of people have been pining for, but you know what, 2 characters is just fine. My worry is that there's no content and that it's going to be the most recent, in my mind, that I can remember 2 character update, which was Adam Warlock and X-23. 2 fan favorite characters, both introduced to this game in a pretty boring and kind of sleazy way. In Adam Warlock's case, he cost way too many crystals and he was underpowered before he got a buff, so he's kind of a lame duck character and he's basically only hot for PvP, which is basically non-existent in this game, and it's pointless even for the whales, believe me. And then X-23, who was tied to the event battle, which had the kind of ugly requirement of Wolverine's uniform, which wasn't on sale at the time. So just a lot of goof ups and a lot of awkward situations in a row for Netmarble with that update. It's probably one of the worst updates that brought some of the best characters, if that makes any sense. Because, of course, people were in love with Adam Warlock and the idea of getting him as kind of the antithesis to Thanos, which he's absolutely not in this game, which is super lame. And then everybody loves Wolverine, so everyone loves Lil Wolverine, but unfortunately, because of how much the event quest or the event battle and its requirements sucked, and unfortunately because now we can only get her through the lab processor because Netmarble doesn't understand how to bring back the event battle, which you should have already done for Luna Snow and X-23, you dunderheads. People just kind of forgot about X-23 and Adam Warlock. So I really am crossing my fingers and hoping that they're not planning to repeat that process with Emma, Frost, and Angel / Archangel. So that is my first thing that I wanted to get out of the way. If that's the case, I'm giving Netmarble the warning now. Fix your update before it releases. Do not pull that again. It's going to go over really badly. Now, the other thing is that I mentioned, these teasers actually do give us some new information. The information that it gives us is actually pretty pertinent for Angel, because the original teaser showed the spikes coming out of the wall, which is his Archangel kind of villain form after Apocalypse enhances his powers with his biomorphing kind of mutant ability, technology, whatever. So it means that most likely, not guaranteed, but most likely we are going to be getting a uniform for Angel. So he's going to have his regular default hero look as Angel, and then hopefully he'll have a uniform, not default, that brings him to the supervillain side. So that's going to be a pretty cool back and forth. He could be a combat character, he could be a speed character. There's no way he's going to be blast or universal. So we have that to look forward to. I would prefer him to be speed, because we don't have very many. Well, we do have some good speed characters. Actually, you know what? I don't really care. Speed or combat, they're both fine. They're both kind of overbloated at this point. I mean, we have almost 50 combat characters. We have almost as many combat characters as other games have characters, period. It's pretty bananas. And we only have 36 speed, so we're probably getting a speed character, but again, it's about the game modes. But that is the main takeaway from this new teaser, that we are probably getting at least one uniform. We may be getting a diamond form uniform for Emma Frost, or she's got many different looks in the comics. This one is probably one of the least risque, so we might be getting a uniform for her as well that's a bit more seductive or just different in general. So with that being said, on top of all of the other suggestions and advice and tips I've given you in the last few videos for what you can do to plan ahead for these updates, I want to add another suggestion to that list, which would be to grind or farm, if you can, uniform upgrade kits. Of course, that would be presuming that we have a uniform incoming for Angel, but it's kind of, I would say it's about an 80% chance. It would be very bizarre for Netmarble to pay to design and waste the designer's time to make an Archangel themed teaser for the very first one and then reveal the character model from the in-game video that we just got now that I'm showing you, and have no indication or no desire to go back and honor that original teaser. It wouldn't make any sense at all. That would be totally backwards. The last thing I want to talk about is kind of the response that this kind of appears to be, because yesterday and the day before that, the players in the community and I in my video complained that the first two teasers were pretty sad looking and that they didn't really show off the characters at all and were kind of low budget. While these teasers are definitely higher budget, if you take a second to realize these are just the in-game looks of the characters. It's just the character with the background doing their moves or doing part of their moves, having some kind of animation of their stance, They may have animated an additional move for the character to do during their waiting time, because certain characters like Luna Snow, like Quicksilver, have kind of a stationary movement that they do. It's not for all characters, it's just for some. Most of them are quite subtle, but some of them, like you'll see with Luna Snow's in a second, are quite pronounced. I don't know if she actually does it unless you trigger something. Maybe in this mode she will trigger her kind of, she plays with a snowflake in her hand. Yeah, so this is the stationary movement. So it's almost as if they recorded, not almost as if, they did record this and then just posted that as the teaser. So I don't know whether I should be, this is obviously the best one ever that they've done. I don't know if I should be happy about this or not. It almost screams more lazy to me than the previous ones. At least they were designing original artwork to advertise. Now they're just pulling artwork directly from their test server that they're using to kind of quality assess this patch before it goes live. So, I mean, technically there's even less effort being put out there. Again, I might be wrong about this. I might be overlooking the videos a little bit, and there might be some additional graphics and work going on that I'm not taking into consideration, but I'm not getting very good vibes, and I'm trying to stay positive, but I'm not getting very good vibes from this right now. And because in my mind I jumped to the conclusion that this was going to be a repeat of X23 and Adam Warlock, it's got me kind of spooked. So really, I would love to hear some of your ideas, some of your suggestions or theories for what this could be. Hopefully, at best case scenario, it's 2 characters and a huge overhaul to an existing game mode, or to 2, like a huge revamp of Conquest, a huge revamp of Alliance Battle, something really good, a huge revamp to Timeline Battle and the rewards there. I don't know. Maybe second best case scenario, we get 1 or 2 more characters and we get a smaller but still substantial rework to an existing game mode. If all we get is these 2 characters and an event battle for one of them, and the other one is Crystal or Bio Subscription or whatever, yeah, this is gonna be a pretty stale update. I've been mentioning it a lot on my live stream as I play other games lately, but when updates come out in Marvel Future Fight and they only have new characters, or when new characters are the central and the majority of the theme and the majority of the content, they get stale pretty quick. And I know there's always been the argument from players that the content is only stale because you max out the characters right away. That doesn't really take away from the longevity of the character, because you don't really play the character at 1 star. You don't really play the character at 2 stars or 3 stars or even 4 stars or 5 stars. You really only play the character the vast majority of the time at 6 stars. And then, that would probably account for maybe 20%, 25% of the character's play. But the character really starts to get play, and you really start to experiment and dive deep into the character once they get to tier 2, let's be honest. But it ramps up at 6 stars. So basically for all players. There isn't really any content in getting the character from 1 to 6 stars unless the content has been created by Netmarble, whether it's a special mission that you farm, or some sort of other kind of quest, Dimension Rift, or for some people, unfortunately, it's going into the lab, collecting this antimatter, and then rolling for your luck. But this is not really content. This is just time. You're just basically slowing down the process. So please don't confuse content with time when I say that these characters have a shelf life of about a week. The content of the character isn't the grind, or isn't the time it takes to get the character. That's not content. Content is learning what the character does, learning how their skills flow, what they animate like, how much damage they do, how long the iframes are, what kind of buffs or debuffs, area of effect, learning how to combine those skills with skill combinations for Extreme Alliance Battle, for World Boss, for Shadowland, and then working out how to gear the character. What kind of ISO 8 set do you want? What kind of obelisk do you want? What kind of Uru do you want? That whole process for a character, at least for someone like me who understands this game really well, is about a week. Once I have a character at 6 stars, once I have a character at tier 2, I'm only going to be experimenting with them and kind of tinkering with them for about a week. There are definitely exceptions to this rule, especially when characters come preloaded with uniforms. But for the most part, characters start to become predictable. You start to memorize their skill rotations, and the pattern kind of, I've done this 153 times. I'm pretty good at it when it comes to breaking down and cataloging everything that comes out of a new character. So with only a week's worth of content out of new characters, I don't really know what they're thinking, what Netmarble is thinking, and what they're expecting when it comes to updates that are only based around characters. So I wanted to give you guys that piece of my opinion and my thoughts and advice. Let me know what you guys think as far as the kind of 1 week before it's stale idea for new characters that come out, and hopefully someone in the comments will have a better idea or a more optimistic plan for what Emma Frost and Angel/Archangel mean for this new update. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.